Alright, so in today's video what we are going to go through is Google Maps, except not this Google Maps, Google My Maps. My Maps is different than Google Maps, although there's a lot of overlap. My Maps is one of the best kind of built-in features of Google that allows you to do your own custom map work. What we're going to do to get to My Maps, first of all, I'll just show you what this looks like, is in Google Drive, we actually have created a folder called Maps, and this is where we store our custom maps. And so we have these different maps. So here's our schools and partners, here's our brochure distribution map, and it actually saves as this online file. All right. So what is a My Map? Well, I'll tell you what, it's a bit different than a Google map. So to go to My Maps, you're literally just going to go to your search bar and type My Maps. And where are we? Google My Maps. There we go. Oh, My Maps. There we go. Very confusing website to get to. As you can see, the default address is google.com/maps. And then a bunch of other user information. So these are the Google Maps that I've created for Fauna and Focus. And again, you'll only see the maps that you have access to based on the account that you're currently logged into. I don't know why My Maps is not available from here. It's not. It might be, maybe it's possible that we can find them here. Hang on, let me just see. My Maps. No, that's so bizarre. It's just external apps. It's very strange that they don't make it an option, but I guess most people are not using this kind of thing. So we'll open this one, for example, just to show you Google My Maps. So obviously it's using Google Maps as its base layer, but you can do a lot of useful things in this. And so, for example, this was our system for tracking brochure distribution, and it's very useful for many different reasons. The first reason being that you have a search bar, so you can search any location and it pulls up just as if it's a regular Google search. And so what that means is I've got a contact phone number right there. I've got the address, the location, the name, everything right there, easily accessible, right? And what that means is that if I need to contact them to double check if they are up to date with our brochures, it's just a matter of searching for their name, clicking them, and looking at the information available. You can also change the color of any location that you have saved. You can even change the icon that you have saved. So I haven't changed the icon for any of these yet, but the color is quite useful. And so what we've done here is we have actually highlighted all of the places and potential places that we have distributed our brochures to. And over here on the left, we've created multiple layers. And so what you can see here is that we've actually broken them up by general businesses, travel agencies, NGOs, restaurants, and hotels. And so you can turn each of these off and on, just like so. And if you select a group, it will show just that group. This is your search result here, this green thing, by the way. I'm just going to X that to get rid of that. And so now we have a blank map. And so, for example, we can look at the NGOs. These are the other NGOs that we have in Siem Reap that had our brochures. And so what you can do is you can select it. And again, there you go. It just quickly pops up with the name, the phone number, everything. And one of the reasons this color code is important is that you can color code it based on, what the status is. So we actually created a system whereby green meant they had our brochures and they didn't need any more. Blue meant they're running low, and red meant they're out of brochures. They need more brochures as soon as possible. And so we used this system to keep track of where we had distributed our brochures to and how we could update them. It also makes it very easy when you're needing to go out and distribute them to kind of plan your route, because you can just pull up this map on your phone and then navigate through it using Google Maps. And it's super easy to kind of plan your route to hit all the marks that you need to hit. And so you can change the color just by selecting over here on the left and setting the color to what you want. Or you can do it from here, setting the color here on the actual pop-up. And what's also important is that you can edit it. So if you click on this, there's a little extra section here to add notes. So you could make a note like, updated 50 new brochure on December 1st, 2020, for example, and save that. And now that information is there, saved right at the top for everybody to see, for all your staff, all your volunteers, anybody that's helping up with this, they can just see that straight away. And so they can look to see the older ones and, oh, okay, this one is red. Well, maybe it's because he hasn't updated it for a while. So, yeah, the type that it's broken up just helps us, manage and organize it. The Hive, boy, this hasn't been updated in a while. Sorry, Clayton. But yeah, so this is a great tool for anything that is related to locations. And so we created this map specifically for brochure distribution. However, we also have a separate map for schools and partners in Siem Reap. And so these are various places that we were currently had ongoing projects with. So we labeled some of them. We have, again, the contact information there. So here we had the private schools labeled, the public schools labeled, our conservation partners, our universities. So these are places where we were teaching schools, where we were teaching in schools. And so we had the location saved with, again, that contact phone number is right there. The website is right there. The location is there. You can add notes, to each one if you want. And again, just in terms of planning your projects, planning your events, planning activities, having a map that collects all of that information automatically is just a really useful and easy feature. And so to add new pins, it's super easy. You can literally just click add marker up here, this little thing, and click somewhere on the map. You can name it what you want. If you want to organize it, we'll call this test and test. If you want to change the color of it, we can change the color, and we can move it around through this list, or we can even move it to a different group. And again, the color is set individually, so you'll have to set the color like so. You can also change the whole uniform style to, for example, setting the uniform style will basically say that they get no label, or they get a name, or they get a name and a description, so on. So individual style will say if we want to have the different colors available. So that's one way to do it. I'm going to delete that one, and you can delete from there, or you can delete over by selecting there, and it comes up again. But you can also just, for example, select a place on the map, and clicking this button, add to map, will add it to whichever layer you have currently selected. And so how do you know which layer you have selected? Well, there's this big blue line next to it. So if I'm selected private schools, public schools, conservation partners, so on, whatever I select on that, it will add it to that section, right? So you can add somebody to your list like so. Directions to here is literally navigation. So that will pop up with Google Maps navigation. I'm not going to do that because, of course, I am in America right now, and that would be a long drive. However, you'll notice that if you save directions, you're actually saving a route, and I'm going to show you where that comes useful in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this layer because we don't need that. And I can delete that as well. We don't need that layer. Right. So if you want to add a new layer, let's say, primary schools, you just go add layer, and there it goes, untitled layer. So we'd come here, rename this layer. We can call it primary school. And so on. And now I can go ahead and you can import files if you have a KMZ file or one of the GPX files as well. You can always upload like that. And then we can search for like Treehouse International School. There we go. And so we can add that to the map. Now we've added it to our primary school list. So easy as that. Super easy to manage and add things via your map. And of course, sharing button is right there. So if you choose to enable link sharing, then anybody with that link can access this map, or you can just use drive sharing and actually just send it to people that you want. But the better option is just to create a Google Drive folder called, maps or, our maps or our locations, and then save your Google Maps files to that location. So how do you manage and organize My Maps? there's actually no easy way to do it from here. It's actually really unintuitive. So again, one of the reasons we wanted to create these tips and tricks videos is to help you guys navigate some of the weirdness that you'll find. And of course, this could all be changed with an update. But so sharing a map is not a problem. You just click on share and you can enable a link, or you can share it via Google Drive to various people, and that's that. If you do it by drive sharing, people will get a notification, hey, you've been given permission to this thing, but it'll just stay in their shared with me folder. And so again, managing it from your Google Drive is a bit weird. And here at Google My Maps, you'll notice that again, you have the option to create a new map or open it in Drive. Okay, now I'm in my Drive, but like, where's that map, right? And so there's no easy way to find where that map is. Again, it just happens to be there because I've opened them recently, so it's coming to the top. But if I was another staffer or I wanted to go see, hey, where's that map? So I'd come over here, I'd go to Maps, and you'll notice that, yeah, I'm missing some maps here. I have Schools and Partners brochure. So we often go out to Bee Treat Adventures for some training. So where's Bee Treat Adventures? Well, let me go to Google Drive, and I'm just going to search because I know from looking here that I have a map named Bee Treat Adventures, right? So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to type. I'm going to do a search for it. And there it is. That's the symbol for Google My Maps. So I'm going to right click that and show file location. Ah, that's where it was. It was here. So wherever it is, wherever you have it, even from this search menu, you can right click and move it to a location that you want. So in this case, I'm going to move, and I'm going to move it to my Drive, Fauna and Focus Cambodia, and I'm going to move it just to Maps. Boom. Move there. Move. And so now everybody that has access to that Maps folder will be able to see that map, and they can open it from here. Right? This is also, you see, in this case, I've got waypoints. Oh, that doesn't need to be there. Delete this layer. So this is showing waypoints on various ways to get into Bee Treat Adventures and various other things. So anyway, so this is how you would kind of manage and organize your maps in Google Drive. This is a very useful trick to be able to find your map. It's going to be searching the map name here, finding where it is in your Google Drive, and then organizing it using the Move tool within Google Drive. From here, if you, again, just open it in Drive, it's not that intuitive because it just brings you straight to my Drive, and you might not see the map that you're looking for, right? So again, like commune test. There it is. So let's go ahead and see where this is. Show file location. So it turns out it wasn't organized. It was just here somewhere. I don't even see it. Sure, there it is. So it's like disorganized in the top of my folder. I think by default, it should go into my Drive, just into the top here. But it might go somewhere else if it's been organized already. So now from commune test, as normal, I can just pick it up and drag it into Maps. And then it's going to say, hey, this is going to be visible to everybody who has been shared the folder Maps. That's fine. And I think I saw another map, NGO deployment. There we go. So we're going to put that one in Maps as well. So there you go. So that gives you a nice overview of how that works. And again, these are still shared files that other people can access and work on if they want. So that's our use case for Google My Maps, and it's a very powerful and useful tool for doing kind of stuff and management related to your project. So that's going to wrap up our My Maps intro.